In last week's Baldur's Gate 3 lore episode, we briefly touched upon Ceremorphosis, which is the grisly transformation of a humanoid victim into a mind flayer. So in today's video, we will discuss the mind flayers or Illithids of the Underdark in terms of their origin and development, Ceremorphosis, the Elder Brain, and much more. Welcome to Content Critters. If you're interested in more Baldur's Gate 3 lore and news, consider subscribing to the channel. Without further ado, let's begin. The true origin of mind flayers or Illithids is a mystery, although some scholars have attempted to piece together this creature's beginnings. The Planetreader's primer is a text which speaks of an empire so huge and vast that it spans worlds during a time predating memory. This mind flayer empire was built on the foundation of domination and slavery, where after some time, the slaves learned to develop a resistance to the psychic shackles that binded them. These slaves, also known as the Githyanki and Githzari, then revolted against their masters, but they were not completely free from them, nor to the civil wars that ensued thereafter. Unfortunately, both races ended up fighting against one another. They also hunted and exterminated their masters. But the mind flayers remained as cunning and creative as ever, that they were able to escape to fortresses underground or in the Underdark where they were no longer pursued. Mind flayers are considered as one of the most formidable creatures of the Underdark because a single mind flayer is more than enough for a group of surface warriors, and they often travel in groups. Compared to humans, they are thin in height and build. Their head resembles a four-tentacled octopus. Their tentacles are 2 to 4 feet inches in length and are extremely dexterous, as it serves to be an additional set of hands. It surrounds a circular and jawless mouth with rows of small teeth to prevent slippery brain matter from falling. Their 2 white pale eyes without pupils are sheltered beneath brow ridges. Mind flayers see very well thanks to their dark vision sense spanning from 60 to 120 feet. But their sense of hearing is quite poor as they struggle to differentiate components of any sound. Their soft skin can often be seen glistening under a coating of mucus. The mind flayer's nervous system is much more intricate and advanced than that of any human being, such that every part of its body is wired into the brain. This makes its entire body an extended brain. In its lifetime, an adult mind flayer deposits about 2,000 to 3,000 eggs in a murky pool where the elder brain resides. After a month, the eggs hatch into tadpoles. These tadpoles spend about 10 years in the pool where they are fed brain matter. As the tadpoles grow, the weaker ones are consumed by the elder brain, while the few thousand that survive undergo ceremorphosis. A mature tadpole, which is 3 inches in length, is then inserted into a humanoid captive. Over the course of a week, the tadpole consumes the victim's brain completely, replacing it in its body through the horrific transformation known as ceremorphosis, as we've seen with the Flaming Fist mercenary. However, hope isn't lost so long as immediate help comes for the victim. Time is of the essence because with every passing hour after tadpole insertion, the victim's intelligence, wisdom, charisma, and dexterity are permanently drained by 1 point. To counter this, restoration is needed to reinstate lost ability points, but this isn't permanent as the tadpole continues to thrive in the nervous system. Only a healing spell can save the victim, not cure disease nor remove curse. The tadpole also has to be killed. When any one ability is reduced to 0, the victim's psychic essence is replaced by the tadpole's awakening mind. Only a miracle can bring back the victim, nothing else. After ceremorphosis, it will take another 20 years before the mind flayer fully matures. Their sense of telepathy broadens as they gain more power and control, and they are able to communicate with multiple minds simultaneously. They usually live for up to 135 years. Not all races undergo ceremorphosis, as mind flayers are also selective. Humans, elves, drows, giths, grimlocks, gnolls, goblinoids of medium size, and orcs are the sought-after ones. Sven mentioned recently that if you let your character's brain be consumed by the tadpole, there will be dark consequences. I do hope that this is the confirmation we need to play as a mind flayer. And it also makes me wonder if this option will only be available to specific races since they are pretty picky. Now, each Mind Flayer community has a murky pool which serves as an incubator for thousands of tadpoles and the Elder Brain's residents. Earlier, I mentioned that the Elder Brain eats weak tadpoles, but it also has a far bigger purpose. It is the intelligence that guides and unites all Mind Flayers. An Elder Brain is considered timeless and ageless, with nobody knowing how and when it began. It's a mass of tissue composed of dead Mind Flayer brains. When a Mind Flayer dies, provided that its brain hasn't undergone decay, it is removed from its body and cast into the pool for absorption. This is the most fulfilling goal that all Mind Flayers aspire to be a part of the Elder Brain. No individual personality survives the absorption, and instead, only the knowledge is extracted. Each brain contributes to the intelligence and totality of the Elder Brain. Its typical size is 8 to 10 feet in diameter. It completely rules over the community of Mind Flayers. No questions asked. Elder Brains excel at analyzing the bigger picture. Their schemes often take decades or centuries of planning prior to execution. This acuity makes it impossible for other races to understand what the Mind Flayers intend to do. Often, the Mind Flayers themselves don't understand why they have to do something, but they still do it anyway as they maintain their allegiance to the Elder Brain and their community. Its telepathy can reach up to 350 feet, but some Elder Brains have spells such as Rari's telepathic bond that extend beyond this range. Its hyper-awareness also makes it impossible for enemies to sneak into the community. Its ultimate purpose is to become an all-seeing Elder Brain for each and every Mind Flayer colony, regardless of distance, through the astral plane. The long-term goal is to dominate the universe. Mind Flayers go through great lengths of preparation to ensure their survivability, and they plan ahead with the Elder Brain's help. They also expand their knowledge in almost every area to be able to make accurate predictions of the future. Mind Flayers favor magical items that add to their mental sharpness and mastery, including headbands of intellect and cloaks of charisma. They also value defensive magic such as cloaks of resistance and protection rings. When Mind Flayers die far from home, their brains cannot be brought back in time for absorption due to rot. To prevent this from happening, the Mind Flayers created the brain canister. If the brain is kept here indefinitely, decay will not occur. Sometimes, brain canisters are used for different purposes like storing meals or brains of interesting humanoids for future experiments. Mind Flayers have no friends, and instead, the only reasons why they interact with other beings is to enslave and to consume them. Because of their long, violent history, Mind Flayers continue to show no mercy when it comes to hunting the Githyanki and the Githzari, since they believe that these Giths may alter the future by destroying all of their communities. But there is one group of creatures that these Mind Flayers fear, and that is the undead. The undead have no minds to dominate over, and as a result, they cannot be psionically detected, attacked, nor slain through brain extraction. Now, in one of Baldur's Gate 3's cinematic trailers, we've also seen these nautilus shells flying above the city, otherwise known as nautiloids. These ships are part of the Mind Flayer's vast empire in the glorious future, spanning the entire universe. They travel through space in search of other Mind Flayer colonies and hidden Gith outposts. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. Will you let the tadpole consume your brain for these dark consequences to happen? Or will you immediately remove it? Let me know in the comments section below. I'll be back again this week for more lore.